Hello, so in the last video we took our point cloud files, I just have it hidden here, and we combined a combination of our drone scans and our point cloud files to create our topography. And so with this, now I want to actually join these topo solids together. We are using Revit 2024 in this video, so if you're using a previous version, let me know if you want to do a video. I feel like 2024 is kind of a lot more relevant now, and so I don't know if it's really worth going back and showing how to do that, but it is a similar process. So with this, we want to join these topographies, and there's not really a good way of doing that per se in Revit. And so in environment, we have a tool called make or extract contours, surface contours, and so we can make these connected lines. And typically what I try to do is I use a different line type for every area I do. And we'll keep our topography in this case. And so now we have these contour lines. And let me just hide some topography pieces here. And so what we want to do is actually join these topography lines in with this. And you can also see that we have this weird section on the left here, so sometimes I like to do a little bit of cleanup. So maybe let's go, we'll click on a line, we'll go down to our sunglasses, and we'll go to isolate category. And that way we can just see our lines only. And what I want to do is get rid of this steep curve over here. And I'm not going to be too worried about deleting too much there, but at least that gets rid of some of those contour lines and some kind of the awkwardness. Let's bring back our reset temporary hide. And let's hide a few more things again. And so what we want to do to start is we actually want to add them to this topo surface here, or topo solid there. And so what I need to do is I need to start by making that boundary bigger. And I am actually going to make it cover this whole site. And so depending on how far you want to go, you can do this in bits and pieces. It's probably what I'd recommend. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to draw a little bit of a larger box here, and we'll expand it as we go. So let's draw a larger box. Let's click our check mark here. And so that's our topo surface. When using the environment plugin, and I actually made this mistake a few minutes ago, I try to actually hit the sync button, in my case, or save in your case, and just make sure we keep that file synced. And really, that's just going to give us a good point to go back to if it does crash. I find this topography work is very computer intensive, and so I do have an increased amount of crashes when I'm doing this kind of stuff. So just something to keep in mind. So let's grab our new kind of expanded topography here. We're going to use this button here that is added when we're using the environment plugin. Topography tools, and we want to click add lines here. So we're going to click add lines, and we're going to switch this over to topo solid once it unfreezes here. And I might pause that for a second while we're waiting. So we're going to add line. We turned on our topo solid, and now we're just going to select a bunch of these lines like so. And it definitely is a little bit to compute all this geometry, so you're going to notice that your computer might go in and out of freezing, which is why I think it's always good to save before you start this procedure. And then, you can kind of set yourself like a 5 or 10 minute rule. If it doesn't finish processing in 5 or 10 minutes, you can just go back to where you started and do that. The other thing I find too is if you have areas of topography that you're not too concerned, when we're doing these extract contour lines, which I might do this for the large piece of topography, is we can actually only extract the primary contours so that we're trying to add less detail. And usually how I do that is I focus around the building itself. I add more detail in that area. And then when we get farther from the building, we lessen the amount of detail we have. So let me pause it right there and we'll wait for this to unfreeze. Alright, so it ended up freezing and I'm coming back now. What I did was, this time I just selected half the lines, and once we're done, we'll click Add Lines here, and it will add those into our Topo service, and we can click Finish here, and you can see how our Topo service, let's click Unjoin there, gets adjusted to have these same kind of topography points. So let's just do that again for the bottom half. And again, if I recommend syncing, so let's or syncing or saving. So it's going to sync over here on the other screen. Syncing with Central, and just a good way to methodically work through your project. As I mentioned, the other suggestion would be to use primary contour lines, so we can talk about and maybe try to do that for the large piece of the topography here. So let's try this part one more time. Let's go to Topo Surface Tools. Let's go to Add Lines here. And again, we're just going to grab the bottom half of the lines. And I'm just going to move, grab this again, click Add Lines. We'll select the bottom parts here. And I might have missed some lines in the middle there. We can go back and certainly add those. We might not need to, but we'll see what this looks like. So grabbing in batches would be another good way of doing it. I obviously have a lot of points in a very complex topography piece here. So obviously if you have a simpler piece, it is quite a bit easier to grab those topography lines. So let's just pause while this processes. Okay, so we're back here. We have these updated points. We're going to click Add Lines, and we'll click Finish, and it should add those lines to the topography. And again, maybe trying to bite off a few lines, not all the lines all at once, is maybe a good tactic to make this process go a little bit smoother. But overall, the goal is we want to keep working through the topography to get it into a place where we work combining and utilizing all of that topography as one. So that's the video. I'm going to continue to go through and bring all these pieces together. If you'd like to see the final product, let me know, and I could show you another video of all of that area combined. Thanks for watching.